This is a broadcast of SmallCapVoice.com, a financial communications and investor relations firm. SmallCapVoice.com receives payment for investor relations and financial consulting services that it provides to its clients. You should assume that officers, directors, and employees of SmallCapVoice.com or financial analysts mentioned and their families hold a position and intend to trade in these securities for their own accounts. This is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell securities. Information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as, investment advice. As in all investments, an investment in the featured company carries an investment risk. Listeners should review the company thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This broadcast does not purport to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from the featured company and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by SmallCapVoice.com as to completeness or accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice.
You're wired in. SmallCapVoice.com. Following is a presentation of SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support. Now, with your online business briefing, SmallCapVoice.com's Stuart T. Smith.
Welcome one, welcome all to this online business briefing brought to you by SmallCapVoice.com. And as you just heard, I'm your host, Stuart Smith. And we're joined today for the very first time by Café Serendipity Holdings Incorporated. The company's traded under the ticker symbol FOFU, and they're formerly known as Force Fuels Incorporated. We're lucky enough to be joined today by the chairman of the board for the company, Mr. Bob McNulty. Bob, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Stuart. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for taking time to call in and speak to your shareholders as well as our listeners to this program. And for those listeners who may not be familiar with Café Serendipity Holdings yet, if you would, tell us a little bit about the business model and market.
You know, when we first, and I have to go back a little bit about the industry, the cannabis industry. When we first started doing our research, we were trying to really understand the industry because it's extremely fragmented between dispensaries, recreational, and then you have, edibles and liquids and growers. So you have all these different groups of people in a very large industry. The numbers today suggest maybe it's 35 billion, but I think more on the scale of around 200 billion nationally, our research shows. So we came up with a strategy how we could fit in the marketplace, and basically what we've done is looked at, either licensing or franchise opportunities that you would see traditionally in other retail sectors, like a McDonald's or a Starbucks or whatever. So we came up, we filed for a federal trademark, Café Serendipity, as a business, and we were approved for that as a federal trademark just about a month ago. So we've gone down the road to say, hey, we can help you if you're in the retail space or if you're looking to get into the cannabis business. We can do a turnkey solution for you. We can brand your store. We can set you up from a merchandising perspective, systems, technology, marketing, all of those issues that define a business under our brand, Café Serendipity. And so what we've done early on was started to go out and talk to people, and then we had actually 3 different businesses have already signed up with us under our brand. But in the meantime, we've been developing technology on the backside of the business, ERP system, which is proprietary to us, and we're going to actually launch that late next week. And then we also have an e-wallet card we're going to launch along with that. So we do provide solutions for the license owners that come with us. So we will provide a complete turnkey ERP system from point of sale, inventory tracking, barcoding, all of those things, electronic sign-in to the store, along with an e-wallet solution for a lot of the stores that are presently almost everybody's 100% cash.
Yeah, I would think so. I know we've watched some of the things that have happened in Colorado, which really is a proving ground for this industry right now. We've seen some of the banking issues that they have there. And you're based in Henderson, Nevada. This is a real hotbed right now for the green rush market, as we like to call it here at SmallCapVoice.com. But you are working with potentially 6,000 existing legal medical marijuana dispensaries in the entire U.S. So even though you're based in Nevada, a real hotbed, your reach is going to be beyond that nationally. Is that correct?
Yes, our reach is nationally where they're legal to go in the states that are have either recreational or dispensary businesses and even growers. So we're reaching into all these markets. We currently have all of our salespeople are independent reps. So we have currently 5. We have just hired on our 5th person up in Colorado to work that market. And we're probably going to bring on another 10 or 15 salespeople over the next 60 days as we start to identify them. We're just now in the process of going through, just a stack of resumes and looking at salespeople in additional states. Ultimately, I think throughout this year, probably by the end of this year, we'd like to have a couple of reps in every state. Obviously, California is the plum, and everybody's kind of focused on that. So we think in California alone, we'll probably end up with about 15 or 20 reps. So we're really focused on that marketplace because it is the largest in the United States.
Sure is. Well, thanks for that information. Now let's learn a little bit more about you as our guest, as well as the other members of the management team, like the Chief Executive Officer. Tell us about the management team for Café Serendipity Holdings.
Yeah, we have a really strong management team, and one of the things you have to really look at because of the nature of our business, we're in the retail business, but also, we license our mark out, Café Serendipity. So we need, strength in retail sectors. We need strength in systems and technology, in finance, and, the operational skill sets, and in sales and marketing, obviously. So, the CEO of the company is Mark Noffke. He's got a really solid background in finance and administrative work. He's been in a number of public companies over the years. I've known Mark personally for probably 25 years now. We've worked together closely off and on over those years. He's also a CPA. And then we have Art Richardson, who's the president of the company, who's been in retail for 30 years in all different sectors of retail, big box retail, small box retail. He is currently with Sam's Club, runs about 17 of their stores. So he's very familiar with high growth strategies, operational disciplines, and how that's going to work. And then we have also Chuck Matthews, who was with Force Fuels as the CFO. And surprisingly, when we were able to take that company over, we were pleasantly surprised that he was really a good chief financial officer. So we kept him in place, asked him to join the company. And so he's fully on board. And then we have a marketing team that's out marketing the product. So, and myself, I've been in retail 30 plus, actually almost 40 years now. Done everything from big box retailing to internet. I started a company probably pretty well known on the internet, shopping.com, the founder and CEO of that. So, we're all basically retail oriented, very technology savvy, and looking to open up our brand at least through this year, 70 or so stores by the end of this year, and possibly more as we start rolling through the next year, probably a couple, 200 or 300.
Excellent. Well, that takes us right into our next questions, which are, what were some of the major milestones for the company that you've been able to achieve so far, let's say in 2014, here early in 2015? And then what are your goals for the company here in 2015? But it sounds like you've touched on them. We know California is a major goal for the company. Any other ones, Bob?
Yeah, kind of the short-term goals were to get the mark approved federally, so we have a licensed trademark to go to market with. So that was one of our goals, really to establish ourselves internally, not so much externally in the business, putting the management team together, putting the right marketing materials together, sorting out the strategy of the business model, how it's going to work from a revenue side, and how are we going to effectuate change in retailers, whether they're the dispensaries and or recreational, how are we going to make those fundamental changes with them and brand them. So we've got all that in play now, so those short-term goals have been pretty much reached. Things that we're doing behind the scenes that people don't know about, because there's a lot of things you can't say as you're starting, running the business in a public company. But we're getting ready to launch our ERP system next week and our e-wallet, which are going to be significantly impactful to retailers, so they don't have to go outside if they sign up with us. That's part of what you get with us as the trademark. You get all these other technologies that, will help you build your business. We're actually developing a mobile app now from an advertising platform, much like Weedmaps. So all the Café Serendipity stores under our preview will end up having a mobile app that they can send out to their customers. They can be searched, on the internet to drive traffic to their stores. So those are some of the short-term goals. The longer term through this year is to get somewhere between 60 and 70-ish number of stores under our brand, whether they be recreational or dispensary, and we think we're going to do that. We've also done some things that we've not joint ventured, but we own a small piece of a company that's doing a lot of work with the Native American tribes. So you'll hear hear more about that coming over the next couple, 3-4 months as we're working closely with them. So we're looking to brand not only, like I said, the retail side of the business, but also the growth side. So kind of if you can imagine 4 years from now, where would you like to be when you grow up? And that's kind of the strategy we look at. Where do we want to be at the end of 4 years or 5 years in the marketplace? And our strategy is to brand from the beginning of the process to the end of the process. So the beginning of the process on the growth side and take that all the way through to the retail side to the consumer, so we have a face to the consumer. Because we all know at the end of the day, retail is where it's at with the consumer. You have a brand with the retail and the presence with the consumer, and they like what they see. They're going to continue to come back to your store. So quality control, service, technology, all of those issues become important to the consumer. So if we can brand at the grow level and have X number of growers with us sending product through that supply chain to Café Serendipity stores throughout the market. So just imagine if you had 1,000 Café Serendipity branded stores, and now you have the distribution channel of the grow side feeding those stores, not only just in the actual marijuana itself, but also other products within that space. So that's kind of our longer-term goal. It's hard for people to wrap their head around. I was on a call with somebody yesterday, and they said, what makes you think you can get people to brand with you? And the answer was, I don't think about can they brand with us. We already have 3 stores branded. We've got another 3 coming. We have a lot of things coming down the pipe that, it takes a while to get into the pipeline. So I think we're doing amazingly well, but I think we've got a lot of room to grow very quickly.
Well, what a story you are telling us right now. Smart management team, seasoned management team, great 4-year plan for this company. And in addition to that, hit the press wire, people. Not only are they making the moves to become fully reporting again, filing of a registration statement. That just came out Thursday, February 26th. And on top of this management team, look at the advisory board and the additions they've made there. Bob, you've got a really stout advisory board. Any comment on that?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. And just like you said, our long-term plan and long-term being over the next 90, 120 days from the standpoint of getting filed, getting back up on OTC markets and full reporting QB company. So that's all in the works, and that's going to happen. But one of the things we recognize, since we're in virgin territory, there's a lot of legal issues coming down the road and they're changing very quickly. And there are health issues, there are issues with the grow side, and then you get into, at the end of the day, the marketing side. So one of the approaches we took said, how can we go find the best legal person that we could have working with us that knows the regulatory issues? I was able to have Petra Stark join our advisory board. Petra's background, if you've read her bio, is extraordinarily strong. She was inside the White House. She was head legal counsel for all the lawyers within the West Wing of the White House, reporting directly to the Chief of Staff. So she has a great knowledge of what's going on inside the regulatory side of the world of cannabis. And so she's going to be a great resource. In fact, she just will be announcing a new company that she's starting here shortly. So I'll let that happen through her own press release. And then we've got Michael Anderson, who came on. He's a PhD in the health industry. And then we have Robert Calavis, who came on board. He's an expert PhD in horticulture, grow cycle, setting standards and quality control of the product. Down the road, I think you're going to see more packaging in the product as it becomes more efficient to go to market. So those people are very, very important to us. And then we're able to convince Terry Brown, who I've known for a number of years. She's a senior executive in the country music entertainment business. So she's going to help us do a couple things on the branding side. She's out looking for a celebrity endorsement person that would fit with us, along with her own marketing skills to help us drive the company forward. So I think we're doing the right things by getting people that really understand sectors of business that can advise us. Say, hey, Bob, or the management team, here's some things you need to think about. Here's the things we're seeing in the marketplace coming down the road. So, and that's a great resource to have, because as an operator, as the business is moving forward quickly, we need that kind of input constantly coming in, because the key to this is when you have an industry like this that's growing quickly, laws are changing. How do you change with that? How do you keep up with information? So having resources like that available. So, if you think about it, we're just a small little public company, fighting or scratching our way through the industry cycle. But, I've always been on the forefront of new change, and I love it because you can kind of write your own strategy and take it to the consumer, and most of the time it'll work if you just stay focused on the end game.
Well, once again, we're speaking with the chairman of the board for Café Serendipity Holdings Incorporated. Hey, Bob, if somebody wants to get in touch with the company, what's the best way to do so?
The best way to get in touch with the company is just hit me on an email direct, bob@cafeserendipity.net. I'm available. I'm always on my mobile device, so I'm as quick to get back to anybody if they hit me on an email.
Very good. Well, you can also touch them socially via Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All that's available, so all you really need to know is FOFU, because all that is available at the bottom of their press releases. But, of course, the website is cafeserendipity.net. Well, Bob, thank you so much for your time here today. We look forward to great things from you and your company here in 2015 and beyond. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, thanks, Stuart. Really appreciate giving us the time and look forward to speaking to you again.
Absolutely. For Bob McNulty, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for listening, and make sure to take a closer look at Café Serendipity Holdings Incorporated, ticker symbol FOFU.
SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support, provides its clients with the highest level of service. Our audio interviews are disseminated to one of the largest opt-in audiences available today. How? We at SmallCapVoice.com believe in aligning and affiliating ourselves with other leaders within the investor relations community. By sharing resources, each affiliated firm is made that much stronger and each client is served that much better. Our focus is to identify and provide the very best financial services and solutions available to clients and their shareholders. For more information about our services, please call us at 512-267-2430 or visit us on the web at www.smallcapvoice.com.